This is episode 57 of Zen and the Art of Real Estate Investing with my guest, Perry Keenan. Perry is an entrepreneur, real estate investor, former mayor, and the founder of Keenan and Associates, which is an insurance and asset management company. Perry, welcome to the show.
Dude, so excited to be here, man. You guys are awesome. I love it.
Yeah, appreciate it. Yeah, I'm excited to have you. I'm just going to go right into it because I want to find out about this mayor thing because it's definitely part of your branding. So are you still a mayor or were you a mayor? Give us a deal on that before we get to investing.
Yeah, no, I happily retired. So spent in our hometown of Pleasant View, Tennessee, which is right outside of Nashville, about 20 or 25 minutes outside of Nashville. Spent 4 years as city council and vice mayor, and then spent a little time off. The economy crashed and needed to take some time off to just kind of focus on God, family, and work. And after that, had some doors of opportunity open in 2012 and ran for mayor and got elected and then got reelected. And after 8 years, I said, I need a break. So was happy to retire at the end of 2020.
Do you think that your involvement in city government for that long helped you when it came to real estate? Because there's so many of like machinations that happen with municipalities. Did you have more info, do you think, on that end than maybe a normal person?
You know, honestly, not really. I actually made it a point to never do any real estate investing in my hometown while I was mayor. As a matter of fact, I don't really think I did any real estate investing in our county. I'd have to go back and double check that, but I don't think I even did any real estate investing in our county while I was mayor. I just really did not want that appearance of, he had some backside information or some, insider info. And, it's a small town and everybody knows you. And, I just tried my best not to ever give that appearance.
Yeah, I meant more for like now as someone who's been flipping so much, that each town you go into, you try it, you start to do something. The way that town works on the back end is a little different. Your experience from inside the municipal end has to help you.
Yes.
Not just because you were mayor, but because you know how it works and that each municipality is differently when it comes to enforcing regulations.
It absolutely did not hurt because, when I would get into a situation where if it wasn't just something like a standard house flip and, the average everyday real estate investor, may get into a situation and not know exactly like who to call or what stumps to uncover, so to speak, as we would say here. You get into a situation where something is non-conforming and it's two houses on one lot and you're looking at it and you're saying, okay, I know that is actually not legal. And so instead of just walking away from it, because of that experience as mayor, I know who to call, the codes department, the, building inspectors, all of that type of thing to really dig deep to find if this was something that, was legit. Am I going to have problems down the road? That kind of thing. So yes, that part of it definitely gave me that insider, track of being forward thinking of who I needed to call to confirm things.
Yeah. What do you think about that in terms of like what it's like now as compared to what it was then?
So I'll take it in a couple of different directions and I'll try not to shiny squirrel too much, but
no worries.
I think for the person that's looking at just getting started, the shows like I love Chip and Joanna, but you don't flip a house in an hour. Tarek and Christina, their show was highly entertaining, but you don't flip a house in 30 minutes.
Yeah.
And, as and several of your guests that you've had on your show, that they've referenced, it's work. I mean, it's a fun job. Don't get me wrong. Yeah. And it's crazy flexible. But it's still a lot of work. And, I typically don't flip houses in 30 minutes. It usually takes a little bit
45.
longer than that, maybe 45 minutes, an hour on a bad day. But, that's one of the things that I think give a lot of people a false sense of what it's really like to be a real estate investor. Now, I'll come around the backside of that and say that podcasts like yours, local real estate meetups, the REI meetings, and those kinds of things. Though, when people are attending those and they're getting educated, when you're listening to podcasts and you're getting educated, it really does kind of help tamper some of that expectation. And I try to tell people that, yes, there are lots of success stories where somebody does their first flip and they'll make a 6-figure profit. They'll do their first wholesale deal and not even touch it and make 25 or 50 grand. Those are certainly out there, but those are not the ones that happen every single day, regardless of what Grant Cardone says. Love 10X, but it just doesn't always happen that way. So I tell people that real estate is get rich steady, which is better than get rich never. And if they just use tenacity, perseverance, and just take action, daggum, just take action, then everything else will fall into place. I had a meeting last night with somebody that I'd met through a local real estate meetup, and they're actually using us for their insurance services. They just did their first house flip, buy and hold, and they were so excited, and I loved seeing that. And we kind of swapped some stories back and forth, and I said, I'll never forget like my first one that I did. Like I was excited, I was nervous, it was amazing, and I still get that sense now, regardless of how many doors that we've done or how many houses that we've flipped. And I said, but it does get easier. And when you take action that first time, outside of all of the stuff where you've got, syndicates and everything else that are coming in and buying up, $4 and $5 and $6 million worth of real estate at a time. When you just do your first one, everything else after that, even if it gets harder, it's easier because you're like, oh, well, I've done this before and I'll just figure out how to make it work.
They never started with no money and just tried to make money from being wholesale. That's where it goes wrong. They're good at getting properties, talking to people, and they can't close on the deals. Is that where some of your deal flow comes from what you were saying before?
So some of it will come from that. Some of it just comes from, that those wholesalers that know this is kind of my bread and butter. This is this is my niche. I like, small multifamily. I love things that's, 10 or 15 doors or less. I love things that we can force equity and force appreciation. I don't want to go buy someone's brand new apartment complex. I want to buy something that's 30 years old that needs new water heaters and that kind of thing, because it helps me with the BRRRR strategy. Even with interest rates being what they are today, it helps with the BRRRR strategy when you can go in and force that appreciation by taking rents to market rents, or, going in and forcing that appreciation because you've updated kitchens and updated appliances and that type of thing. One of the things that, people, they really kind of get shocked about when you're talking about the BRRRR strategy. And for somebody that's listening to this and doesn't know what that is, BRRRR stands for you buy it, you rehab it, you rent it, you refinance it, and then you repeat those first 4 steps. And so we actually did that with the mobile home park, where we bought the mobile home park. We borrowed the down payment from another investor and went in and brought some of the trailers that were not in good shape. We brought them up to, good, healthy living standards. We went in and readjusted the rents across the board to get the rents up to a market rate. And then I went back to the same bank 9 months later and pulled over $100,000 out because it appraised so well just after 9 months. Pulled that out, paid off our investor, and now we're into that mobile home park for zero money down. And people, I know that oh, well, you can't flip a house in 30 minutes, and you see, Tark and Christina do that, and there's a level of skepticism there. But I can tell you that when you can go in and buy a mobile home park for $625,000 and refinance it 9 months later and pull every single dollar of your initial down payment back out, pay off your investor, and have $0 in a 15-pad mobile home park, like, come on.
That's the ideal BRRRR. I mean, that's why it was created.